Good morning. We are starting our new unit, Unit 6. We are going to be working with inequalities. So see, we're starting with CO44. I can interpret and write inequalities. So the first thing we have to do is know what an inequality is. An inequality compares two unequal values. So an inequality compares the two unequal values, whereas an equation, one side equals the other side. So equations are equal to each other, and inequality has unequal values. So there are four symbols that are used with inequalities. You've used these symbols before. We're going to look at other words that can describe them. We know the basic simple ones. So we know that this symbol right here means less than. It can also, when you're reading a word problem, they're not always going to say it's less than something. They might say that it is fewer or lower. So those are key words to look for when you're reading your word problems to know which inequality we're using. This symbol here we know is greater than. But in word problems, we might see something like more or higher. So if they say a number that is higher than this, we know it's greater than. This symbol here is less than or equal to, because it's got that little equal sign on the bottom. So when it's got that equal on the bottom, it's less than or equal to. You might see words like maximum. The maximum amount of money he can spend is $25. So that means he could spend 20. He could spend $24.99. He could spend $25, but he cannot go above it. It has to be less than or equal to that $25. He could spend at most $25, or he could spend no more than $25. Those all mean that it's less than or equal to. Are you writing this down, JT? So how can we problem solve that? Yeah. So you need to get a pencil. Does somebody have one that JT can borrow? Thank you, Amelia. This symbol over here is greater than or equal to. Words we might hear in a word problem. If this is maximum, what do you think we're going to hear over on this side? What's the opposite of maximum? Minimum. So at minimum, we're going to spend $30. So that means we'll spend $30 or more. We'll spend at least $30 or no less than $30. So when we're reading our word problems, we really have to think, what does it mean? It's not going to be straightforward, greater than or equal to. That's what we call that symbol. Now we know that there are other words that we have to know that mean the same thing. So those are key words for us to know. So you want to have them all written down. When it comes time to take the test, you're going to want to put this chart on your help sheet, because there will be word problems that you need to know which inequality symbol you need. Do we have it all filled in? All right, so keep working on that. I'm not going to scroll up yet, but we can look at the bottom part. says write each inequality statement as a verbal phrase 2 ways using some of the terms above. So, how could I write this? Aiden H.
Number greater than 5.
A number greater than 5. Now it says 2 ways. So who could tell me a second way? Aiden B.
5 less than number.
But is this symbol a less than symbol?
I know.
It's a greater than symbol. So we're going to start with N. So a number.
A number greater.
Look at our symbol here. We want to use one of these kind of terms.
Higher than.
Look at our symbol here.
That's less than.
Yeah. So we want to use one of these words. So a number that's lower than 5.
Yeah, I thought it's
Oh my goodness. I am sorry, Aiden. I had that wrong and you had it correct. My bad. It was the symbol. Oh yeah. It's been a long morning already. A number higher than 5. Oh, good thing you guys are all paying attention and you're figuring this out. Let's look at our next one. This one has this symbol. So how would I say that as a verbal phrase? Riziki.
12 less than.
Careful.
Oh, I mean, and.
So a number less than 12. So we always start with what's on the left side, just like we're reading from left to right. We start with what's on the left side. So if the N is on the left side, we start with a number. What is another way we could say that, Amelia?
A number fewer than 12.
A number fewer than 12. Okay, look at our next one. How could we say that? Olivia.
A number less than or equal to 10.
What is another way we could say it? Nolan?
A number at least 10.
So, Olivia, let's look back at what you said. Look at our symbol here. Do we want less than or equal to? We're going to want the greater than or equal to. So a number greater than. I'm still making that same mistake. I thought we're going less than, and wasn't paying close enough attention. It's that easy to make a mistake. Really look at the symbol. So Nolan, say yours again.
A number at least 10.
A number that is at least 10. So you can have at least this much. You could spend more, but it's at least 10. That's the greater than. Now let's be careful, and I'm paying attention to what our symbol is.
Please pardon this interruption. The real field temperature outside currently is 16 below, which means we'll be having indoor recess today. Tomorrow's looking up, but today we'll be indoors. Thank you.
And I know Nordic Ski had their conference meet yesterday. And no, it was not canceled because it was a conference meet and they couldn't cancel it because they had to stay on track. So they shortened the times that people were out. What my poor child pulled it's called a buff. the
Yeah.
scarf that goes over her face. She pulled it down while she was going down a hill because her glasses were fogging up. By the time she got to the bottom of the little hill, she went to pull it back up and it was already frozen. So she couldn't pull it back up. So she almost got frostbite on her nose by the time she was done with the race. It's that dangerous out.
Yeah.
So be careful going outside.
So that makes sense.
Yes.
Yeah.
So I'm glad we are saying it. Back to math. What is a way that we could say this one, Melina?
A number no more than 25.
A number no more than 25. What is the second way to say it? Gigi.
A number at most 25.
A number at most 25. So again, as we're reading our word problems, it's not going to be completely clear that it's less than, greater than, less than, or equal to. You have to know these other terms, these other ways of saying it. It's saying the same thing. We know how to do it. We just need to recognize these other words. Am I good to erase and scroll up? All right, let's look at the bottom of our page. Write each verbal phrase as an inequality statement. So looking back up at that chart, when you see the key words, figure out which symbol you're going to use. A number, so it starts with a number, we're starting with N. A number is less than 18. That one's a little bit easier. The number less than statement, 18. A number greater than 20. A number is greater than or equal to, so greater than or equal to 5. He's using the simple ways. A number less than or equal to 35. Bennett?
So with the last one, could you do the N second and the 35 first?
So remember I said we read from left to right.
Yeah.
So if it starts with a number, your inequality needs to start with a number.
Okay.
So we read it going the same way. We're not flip-flopping it like when we were subtracting and we said 25 less than n. It's not like that.
Okay.
So we're just going to read left to right. So you write it in the same order. That was a good question. So these ones were pretty basic because we're using that terminology that we're used to. The word problems on the second page are not as basic. You have to look at those new terms. So when we're saying maximum or minimum or at least, at most, we need to know those words. So what you're going to be doing on this second page is you're going to be writing that inequality statement. The most you can spend at Target is $20. Show the amounts of money you can spend. We're going to do just one of these together so you have an idea of what you're doing. Amelia.
And the that sign with the line under it and it's going.
So we want that equal sign because you can spend at most, you can spend $20.
Okay.
And then do we want the less than or greater than?
Greater than.
So the most you can spend at Target, this is our greater than. So we're saying, if we're saying this, the most you can spend at Target is $20, we're saying N can be greater than $20, but it can't. The greatest amount we can spend at Target is $20, so we want it to be $20 less than. So we could spend $15, we could spend $19, we could even spend $20, but we cannot spend more than that. So we can spend less than 20 or equal to 20. So N is less than or equal to 20. Did that make sense, Amelia? Yep. So be careful. It's really easy to use the wrong symbol. Look back at your chart, look back at the terms that match up with it, and make sure you're using the correct symbols. So we're going to have some work time now. If you are watching this at home, we hope you are well, and we hope to see you soon. Have a wonderful day.